Anything information technology basically is the future. And if we are not a part of the future, then what are we doing?
Exactly. We won't even be able to then serve at a table because they'll have a robot doing that. That's AI is not, believe me, it is not going from the bicycle to the car.
No.
This is going from the bicycle to living on Mars.
Right.
It is not an evolutionary thing. And we have to have some input on how the laws will structure for AI.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now, because it's upon us right now.
In five years, the cars in the parking lot, you'll be able to call your car and it'll go get your coffee and it'll take you home.
Yeah.
And that's 5 years.
Yes.
That's not 50 years or 100 years. That's 5 years.
Yes.
So if you're not a part of the conversation right now, you definitely will be left behind. I have a very interesting question for you, Mr. Campbell.
The answer is yes.
I
do like long walks in the beach.
I had the pleasure of meeting you and your wife a couple of weeks ago. Your wife is a very fascinating
I'm
woman.
not going to leave my wife for you now.
You must be very proud. Your wife was appointed by President Joe Biden.
Yes.
What is she appointed to?
So my wife is the Assistant Secretary for the Department of Health and Human Services under the Biden-Harris administration.
That's heavy.
That makes her the largest fiduciary. That's the largest signer of checks in the history of the United States government. Can you imagine that?
She is a black woman, y'all.
She is
amazing.
The first black person and the first female to have that job. And it is a big job because she took the job when the administration was coming in with a world crisis for healthcare with COVID. And they needed someone who could manage 100,000 people and all of that money and do it safely and securely, at the same time fighting children in cages on the border and everything else that presented itself to us at that time.
She did take on
She's
very
a
big
beast.
job.
She's
definitely a beast. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And she's doing another event today, and she's got us going.
Question for you. You also, if I'm not mistaken, you did something amazing with a country club. Why?
So the country club was interesting. I actually got in it kind of by mistake, and then it evolved to something else. I was supposed to be a silent partner with some guys who would have been, I would say, the 8th purchasers of a country club, black purchasers of a country club in the history of the United States. And by the time it was over with, the price had gone up high enough that it knocked them out of the deal, and I wound up with the country club.
Wow.
And when I got into it, I said, okay, I'll bring it back, and maybe I'll keep it and, have it with my kids and their grandkids, or maybe I would sell it. It's in South Florida. It could only be so bad, right? It's, 220 acres in South Florida.
Right.
But when I got into the business, I could see that Tiger Woods, a $1 billion guy, was making a great living. But then when I looked at it, and I'm trying to buy my John Deere tractors, there's nobody black in the entire United States that I could buy them from. When I was trying to buy my club car carts, there was nobody black that I could buy them from. When I'm looking at stocking balls and I'm looking at stocking clubs, there's nobody I could buy them from, and there's only 2 guys that I could buy golf balls from.
Wow.
And then if I go Titleist, then they put in their contract that you can't have anybody else.
Yeah, then you can't.
Or if I do Callaway, they put in their contract you can't have anybody else.
Exclusive contracts.
So I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the players, and I watch a guy with all the skills to win a tournament, with the pressure of all of this on him, and he missed a 3-foot putt that would have put him with 2 exemptions. That means you were looking at him on Sunday twice.
Right.
And I could see that there's this large dichotomy of a vacuum. And so when I got into it, I decided that I was actually going to try to help fill that vacuum. So we see what Michael Jordan does. He sponsors, and he's probably doubled his sponsorship since I've been in. You see the basketball guys who picked a college at Howard University and making strong investments there.
Yes.
But it's got to be broader and it's got to be deeper. We have to be at every point of this multi-billion-dollar business. And so what I'm bringing into the game there is we're actually doing everything. We have young professional players just out of college, and we have them training together. We have the course, they work, and they see the other parts of the business, and they train. Right. And then by next year, they'll be going out on tour. And when they get on tour, you look out. Because in 2 to 3 years, either us or Michael Jordan, we're going to actually have some people you'll see on Sunday afternoon, and that's women and men. And it's not just here, because my first person that I sponsored was a Nigerian young lady.
Wow.
And she was on the European tour, 21 years old on the European tour. So we are going to break this, and we're going to do it by joining the diaspora as well.
Oh, that is amazing.